Welcome. And you're controlling this, right, Brittany? Okay. Um,
Correct. Yes.
go,
Just let
go
me
up,
know when you want
go
me
up to the
to.
other, go up to the first, the slide up, if you could. It has pictures of us. Is that down or up? Ah, okay. So there's what I look like with the coat and tie on. And just to let you know that all of us here um, are here to help you and answer your questions. And I get a lot of questions that sometimes we'll go through Brittany or Diane in the global campus, and then they'll send them to me if we have some more specific questions. But you're more than welcome to contact any of us for any questions you might have. So let's go to the next one. And again, we're sorry for the delay on this. We had a little technical glitch, and it's never happened before with anybody using Zoom, I'm sure. So just to let you know, these are some pictures from our different research groups in the building, food science, the call hall mostly. Also, I see we have some grain science. So we're a pretty diverse major, as most of you probably are aware. And let's go to the next one here, next slide. We're primarily headquartered in Call Hall. That's our main office and everything, the Food Science Institute office and the graduate program. We're actually spread out across campus. We have participants from quite a few departments. We're have heavy participation from the grain science department, and have faculty that interact with us there. And they also teach some online courses, which if you were to start our program, you might take some of those. The also the nutrition department, ag engineering. So it's spread all over campus quite a bit. Vet medicine. So we do have a pretty diverse group of people. So we're not a department, we're a program. So we're an interdisciplinary program, which is pretty unique, but it seems so far it's worked up pretty well. And I think this program has been in existence, the graduate program, for 53 years. Sounds like a long time. We still have one of the original founding fathers that is active in the program. It's incredible. He teaches a couple of courses. He's in chemical engineering. It's crazy, and I don't know. He's in his 80s, but he's a great guy. Okay, next one. I don't see the top of that. Anyway, there's a lot of reasons to do the food science MS degree, and what we're seeing mostly, and probably most of you folks are out in the industry. You probably have some type of bachelor's degree in different areas. Sometimes it might be food science, or it could be biology or chemistry, or we have a diverse group of different degrees for people that apply to our master's program. And we accept them all, and it usually works out fine. Basically it was I have a bachelor's in biology and a master's in biochemistry and then a PhD in food science. So I didn't learn about food science till very late in my career, but it's been great for me. And I like the chemical part of it, but there's a lot of different options. Usually people take it to further their education, to expand their horizons for promotions and things of that sort. And so that's where we get a lot of our applicants and students coming in from all different types of industries. Next one, slide, please. I don't think I really want to go through this. It'd take a while, but this is going to be recorded, so you'll be able to look at it if you want to. Just to show you a wide variety of services in the food science field, and it's all the way from politics to hard sciences to marketing, administration, things of that sort. So we have a variety of people that have been in our program from different areas. Next slide. This is once you get into the area, the potential for the degrees, the earnings. Master's degree does give you a little bit better earnings than what we've than the undergraduates. And what we've seen mostly is the students will get the master's. It seems to give you more potential for if you want to be a group leader or things of that sort. Right now, I'm advising a student that works for a company that makes sauces and salad dressings and things of that sort. She's getting her master's because her company hired somebody in that had a master's in food science, even though she had a lot of experience, then she got promoted above her. So she was irritated about that. Ironically, the student they hired from outside to come in was one of my former students. So I got two of them at the same place. It's sort of funny. Okay, let's go to the next slide. This one here is too intense to go into it right now, but it's on our website. If you go in and look at it, we've got it mapped. It's mapped out with different areas where we have people in the food industry that that have taken our graduated from our program, and but go into our website and take a look at it. It's pretty fascinating how this works out, but it shows you some of the locations and everything. Next slide, please. Should we go ahead? Let's go ahead. I want to play this. There's a little short 2-minute video that we're going to show it to you. This is a student dear to my heart. You'll see why. I'm from Kentucky.
I'm sorry, Dr. Smith, it won't play on my computer, but I can send the link in the chat here in a moment for everyone to view afterwards. This is one of our graduates of this program. She works for Jim Beam, and it's a short clip that I'll send a link in the chat. I apologize.
Yeah, it worked before.
It's just a night of technical difficulties.
Anyway, Jim Beam's in Kentucky. So I'm from Kentucky. So further down the river at Owensboro, Kentucky, but we also have, Kentucky has lots of bourbon and distilleries and stuff. Okay, we can go to the next one. But she talks about her, even though she's in the beverage industry, she still could use our degree. So, okay, I see just the bottom portion of this slide. I don't know, let me pull that out of the way. Okay, I'm missing the top portion. This is not working too well.
This slide basically just says it has an overview of our online students, talking about how most students are employed full-time in food-related industries all over the country. Employers often will pay full or partial tuition and fees for students to pursue this program. And each student has a designated graduate faculty advisor who's approved by the Food Science Institute graduate program.
Yes, and let me add that we try to match up, even though you're going to typically do a coursework only degree, if there's an interest you have at your company or something, we'll try to match you up with an advisor that has an interest in that area. So it's to make a better match. So next one. Okay. And I'm missing the top portion of this one too. I don't see what's going on here. Can you move it down?
I can read. I don't know that I'm able to move it down.
Okay, it's moving around. Okay. One thing with the online program, we have quite a few distance graduate courses, and a lot of these courses are captured either on campus, in the campus classroom with the on-campus course. So they're linked in with that real course on at K-State. So it's not something we just basically come up with and that's somehow different. And because I teach one, two, four different online courses, and all of these link up with the classes I teach on campus. And some of them I have labs, and this is true for some of the other courses. We have labs on campus, and we try to give some simulation of a lab situation with the online courses too. So you're getting the same material you would get if you were on campus. It says here we have 70 online courses. I know that's not just in food science, that's also scattered throughout the campus. There's sensory courses, there's grain science courses, baking, cereal science, things of that sort. We have meat science. So it's scattered out, quite a few varieties. And then we have a lot of supporting courses like English, statistics, biochemistry, some of the mathematics. So it's a pretty good variety and a pretty good selection. We've been doing this for quite some time. So it's taken a while to do it. Even the English course we have, it's a technical writing course, was actually designed for our distance program many years ago, online program. So next slide, please. We have top parts cut off, but I think I know what's there. We have the master's degree is a master's degree. There's nothing. We have several options. So we have the non-thesis, non-report option, which is coursework only, and pretty much it says 90-95%, probably more like 95-96% of our students do that option. There is you can do the report option, and we have that for campus and online, and then we have the thesis option too. And in a rare case, we do have some students that are studying by distance online that do a thesis, but that would have to be worked out with the company and things of that sort. We don't encourage it, and sometimes the faculty don't want to do it, but I've done several of these. It's been sort of interesting. But anyway, when it's all said and done, the degree you would get will be a master's degree at Kansas State University. It doesn't designate which kind of option you use, so nobody seems to care. We also have the food safety and defense certificate, which I'll talk about in just a second. Okay, next slide here. Don't want to belabor this point, but we do, for the non-thesis option, we do have some required courses with a little bit of variability. We have the Block A required courses, 12 credits, so you can pick and choose a little bit out of that option. And we're looking for the core stuff. And then Block B are 3 out of 5 courses you have to take. And so this gives you about 20 to 22 credits you would be required to take. And then the total degree requires 34 credits. And so you can, there's still lots of electives that you can take, and lots of options. So these are just some of the courses that are available, just to give you an idea. And these are what we also offer on campus too. Next one, please. Since the program has started, we've had about 250, I'd say more like maybe 275, close to 300 students graduate. Of course, the last year has sort of been the struggle. We've had people that we picked up quite a bit actually as far as student numbers, because I think people have been working at home and they figure, well, I got some time and maybe I'll work on this degree. But we graduate about 215 students just in the online section each semester. We currently have 83 students as of just a couple of days ago I checked. That's this spring 2021. And the vast majority of our graduates are employed in some aspect of the food industry. So processing, whatever you name it, R&D, quality assurance, management. So they're pretty much actively engaged in the food industry. And it's real fascinating to listen to some of the presentations they give at toward the end. There's a presentation required. Okay, next slide. For the food safety certificate, food safety and defense certificate, that's a 12 credit um, concentration area that doesn't require any extra courses if you're careful. And that's a cooperative thing with the IDEA program. It's K-State, Iowa State, University of Nebraska, and University of Missouri. And we have a deal that we offer some of the courses, they offer some of the courses. So if you're in our program, you can take a couple of the courses at University of Nebraska, but it comes through K-State, so there's no hassle as far as getting accepted and everything. And the certificates, mostly food safety and defense, 12 credits, and you can take that. Not everybody wants to do this, but if you wished, you could take that as part of your master's degree and count the same courses as long as you took the correct ones. Okay, next slide. How we doing? This is a look at our Food Science Institute webpage. And if you go there, you'll see it's pretty straightforward. The information, look for future students, then look for graduate. And then if you click again, look for online students, and then it will take you to where you might need more information to apply and things of that sort. Let's see here. Let's go to the next one here. And we also list all our faculty there. But we're happy to meet with you. We do Zoom meetings, phone calls, email. So I do them all, and our folks in Global Campus are also very supportive. And this is one of our young faculty members who's advising somebody. So anyway, we're always available if you have questions, and we'll get you an answer. So what's next here? And I'm Scott Smith, and Jeanette Thurston is our director of the Institute. And you have Dan and Brittany here currently on the Zoom call here, or Zoom meeting. And let's go on down here. The next one, what's the matter? And I think that pretty much is the gist of it. I mean, there's lots of details we left out, but we figure you can ask us about that if you have questions. So how do we do this now? We're going to try to answer some of the questions, or what do y'all want to do?
Yeah, so everyone, you can feel free to post your questions in the chat, and I will ask those to Dr. Smith. Then we can do it that way, if that sounds good.
Sure.
So if anyone has any questions, feel free to drop those in the chat. Erica is wondering, if the majority of your students are currently employed in the food industry, how long does it take them to complete the program?
Hey, that's a good question. The mean, or the average time is about 2.5 years. So you figure 34 credits, take 1 or 2 courses a semester, and it's about 2.5 years, maybe 3 years. So, but it all depends on your work situation and your family situation, and also whether or not you do a lot of traveling. So if you do a lot of traveling for your position, like right now, I don't think too many people are worrying about that. But we have had students that travel a lot, and it might take a little bit longer. But about 2.5 to 3 years is typical. Good question, though.
Awesome. We have another question asking if you've ever had an a student that had a bachelor's of science in nursing pursue a master of science in food science?
Um, no, I don't recall, but that nursing is a very good background. Now, our undergraduate program here on at K-State, we have pre-nursing and pre-med and pre-dental and pre-vet students that get the undergraduate degree and go on to be for the MD or one of those things. But
So for this person, would you suggest maybe reaching out to possibly you, or I could connect them to you and learn more about their background and if they have all the prerequisite courses and that kind of thing?
sure, yeah. But if you're, chances are you would pretty much have everything. And I guess the question is, if you're going to change fields, and that would be something I want to talk with you about. But that's a shift. So, but yeah, that's and probably any type of science background, you're probably going to be in pretty good shape. So it's the ones like I'm working with a gentleman now that's in the food industry, but his degree is in social sciences. So I'm trying to get him fixed up with uh, to get a couple of the prereqs to come into the program because he has almost no chemistry or anything else. But that that works okay too. We had a gentleman years ago that was R&D director of a bakery. I don't know how he got into the position, but um, his major was music. So there's some flexibility here. But yeah, get in touch with us.
Awesome. We have another question. How does the lab aspect of classes work with it being an online program, for like sensory analysis, equipment training, etc.?
Sensory analysis with that's tough to do. So it would be something that you would probably work at home or try to work out with in your company. Um, some of the labs, my labs are pretty much demo labs based on labs on campus. The there's a couple of classes that require you to do little experiments at home. I know the research and development, product development course require you to develop a product and ship it in the actual product itself in the label in a box with the labeling and all that stuff. Turn that in toward the end of the semester. So it all depends on the situation. In a lot of cases, the labs are not they're not going to be the same as what you're going to get on campus. That's just not possible.
Thank you. Another person is wondering, what is the best way to go about finding faculty that have openings / would accept us into their lab when applying?
Um, well, that's not really that important because if they're doing the online, if you're doing online degree, there's really no research involved. So uh, really what you can go through our faculty list and just take a look at it. It's on our website and see the faculty that are presented there and take a look at them and see if you might want them to be your advisor. But just keep in mind that there's no research involved with this. So I advise students from different backgrounds, but generally if they want chemistry or something, I'll talk with them. But I've had the beverage, the girl with the alcoholic beverages, she was my student and I didn't know anything about that. So you can go in and look at our faculty list and see if there's a person you might want to have as your advisor. But we try to, if you don't list anybody, I go through and look at the student, your purpose, statement of purpose, and try to see what you're interested in and what you're doing, and then try to find somebody that has a similar interest.
Awesome. Another person is wondering, if you aren't currently employed in the food industry, how would you complete the final presentation requirement?
The final presentation requirement is a scientific presentation. So it so you don't have to necessarily be in the industry to do that, because sometimes the students don't really talk about what they're doing for their company because they can't. It's just, you can't, just proprietary information. So they typically will review the literature and discuss it with their advisor, how we would handle that, and do a literature review and look at some of the scientific publications and then give a talk on that. So it doesn't have to necessarily hook up with your what your job functions are.
Thank you. Another question asks, aside from higher pay, what advantage would a master's in food science give someone who's already working in product development?
Uh, well, primarily it's going to put you higher up on the chain as far as promotions and a little bit more freedom on what you do. What we see often is this, it might not be, usually you stay at the same company, but sometimes people get the degree and then they can move to another company with a little higher up position. So you'd have a little bit more control of what you're doing. A bachelor comes in, if you have a master's, you're going to be probably supervising some of these. If you're at the same level, then it's just going to be based on experience.
Thank you. Another person asks, can pursuing an MS in food science help pivot from a career in QA towards R&D?
Yes, I would think so. Because now you have more of a science background, and it gives you a better chance of getting out of QA. So I know what you're talking about. So, but R&D is the cream of the crop for some people, and that's where they want to be in. But yeah, having a master's degree definitely helps a lot.
Awesome. Our next question asks, what's the major difference between a food science degree and a process engineering degree? I know they relate together in the real world. Any advice on figuring out which one is more your style?
I don't really know much about the process engineering degree. So you would be more involved in, my understanding is you'd be more involved in processing, engineering, setting up equipment, things of that sort. And we've had several people come through our program that were, I would probably call them process engineering. They set up a lot of the equipment and things of that sort. And they took our program because they wanted to know more about the food products they were working with. But I can't say a whole lot about that aspect of that degree.
Thank you. It looks at the moment like that was our last question. I want to give everybody another moment to put any additional questions they have in the chat before we wrap up. We still have a little bit of time, so we'd be happy to answer questions that you might have.
Ah, I see that question. You're talking about the GRE? Did that just pop up?
Yeah. Is the GRE necessary for admission? They've seen conflicting information.
It should be labeled on our website that we don't require it right now. We took it off last year with COVID-19 and all the situations with people not being able to get to testing sites, and then it went online, and plus it was international. It was really hard for those people to get to it. So we basically have done away with the GRE. So it's probably not going to be required. I know it's not going to be required the next year or so. And we sort of look at it year by year. We just did an evaluation about a month ago and decided that not right now. So The only time it would be an advantage is if you had really low score grades or something like that. And I would maybe tell you to take it, but I want to talk to you before you do that. So, but we have a slot for it in our application, but when you go online, but we don't require it. So that saves you $250 or whatever it costs and some heartache. So
Thank you. Another person asks, for someone with a lot of quality experience in the industry, what advantages would this degree bring if wanting to stay in quality assurance?
um, I'm not really sure. It depends. If you have a bachelor's degree now, having a master's does put you higher up on the totem pole. And sometimes that's a pretty good advantage. And that's usually why people get the degree. So a lot of our students that take the master's degree do have a bachelor's degree and quite a bit of experience. So I hope that answers your question, but yeah, I don't know, but that's my take on the thing. Okay, let me see.
There's, okay, yeah, if you can read it.
I see two of them. What was one here? You have a master's in animal science and a master's in nutrition modeling, and have been working in the food industry for 3 years now. I'm wondering if there's opportunity to get credits for a thesis master's program if trying to do a graduate program in food science. Uh, I'm not sure I understand the question. It sounds like you want to know, can you have some of the credit from your previous degrees? There's opportunity to get credits for a thesis if you're trying to do a graduate program. Okay, if you used graduate credits for a previous master's degree, uh, you cannot use them for another degree. So, but if you have graduate credits that did not go toward your degree, your animal science or your master's in nutrition modeling, then we would accept up to 10 of those credits, 10 credits of that. So I think that answers your question, but if not, okay. Advice for building a compelling personal statement that stands out from the pack. I would think you should focus on your career experience to date and your future ambitions and how K-State might fit into that situation. And we don't need a whole lot, but just tell us what you're interested in and what you're doing and explain yourself. We're not going to reject anybody based on their uh, what you put down there. It's just we want to find out what you're doing. Are there program ways to connect with current students, graduates to get help selecting your courses? I think the best way to do this, because everybody's out there in cyberspace, it's sort of hard to communicate everybody together. Your advisor is the one that will help you on the courses. So you're going to have to take about 22 credits of required courses, and your advisor basically knows what's going on with the courses. We talk among ourselves. So okay. For the classes in food safety and defense certificate, are there classes that are offered on campus only? Are labs that you would miss out on by being an online student? Yeah, there's any course that has a lab, it's going to be different when you're online. So you're not going to have much of a lab. But the classes in the food safety and defense certificate are both on campus and online. So they're pretty much the same. Okay, how many opportunities will we get to connect, work with peers and faculty during the program? It depends on the course. Some courses have group activities. So I really can't tell you. It all depends on the course. Uh, some courses there's it's pretty much you interacting with the instructor. Okay, I'm still unsure about the field that I'm interested in. Can I be open to various fields in the side layer? Well, it's not really that important that you worry about a field because you're really not going to be doing research, probably not a report. So you're going to be taking coursework, and picking the field is not that important. So, relatively speaking, not as if not like you if you were on campus. So that would be different. And quite frankly, on campus students, a lot of times they pick the field based on which faculty member has financial support. So that's that's terrible to say it, but you have to go with where the money is. So and that also dictates which research is driven by any particular time. Okay, I don't see any more questions. Did I miss any?
I think that was just about all of the questions. I've put the slide with our contact information back up on the screen in case anybody does have any questions that we weren't able to get to or that you think of after this presentation is wrapped up. Dr. Smith's email is on there. You can feel free to reach out to him. And then also Diane and I can also be reached at online@ksu.edu. I do see that there's one more question asking how do the food safety courses differ from an undergraduate degree's food safety courses?
They're mostly higher level. So undergrads would be a lower level course, and these are more advanced. Now, some of them are the same, but so that's
Awesome. Thank you.
yeah.
Like I mentioned, our contact information is on the screen, and I want to thank Dr. Smith for that great presentation, as well as thank everybody for joining us here tonight. If you are ready to apply, please visit our website at online.ksu.edu and select how to apply for detailed instructions. As a reminder, everyone who is registered for this webinar will be receiving a recording via email as soon as it's available. Additionally, everybody who attended tonight is eligible for an application fee waiver, so feel free to reach out to us at online@ksu.edu to request that application fee waiver. And with that, I want to thank everybody for joining us and wish you all a good rest of your evening.
Yes. Good night, folks. Keep in touch.
Good night.